Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of El Supercast. With me today is Jason, one of the members of the Checkmate Arcade. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. So, this has been a rather interesting couple of weeks. We had PAX, and that was good and all that stuff. Once again, you went to the Magic tournament because I think you were there last year too.
Well, I they really didn't have much magic last year. Um, so it's kind of interesting with magic. What has happened is there's only one store that does all the Magic the Gathering Grand Prix now.
Okay.
So, because of that, places that used to do Grand Prix were starting to look for other things. For example, Star City Games that does has their Open series. They just held more modern and stuff Open series, although they are staying away from the Midwest more and they're concentrating on just the coastal stuff. But anywho, so they've done that. Whereas Pastimes, based out of Chicago, they really didn't have anything like that. They have a small series they do, but it's based mainly around Chicago. So what they did is they won the contract from PAX to run all the Magic stuff at PAX this year. So they were at South, they're at East, they'll be at West as well.
Interesting. So one shop. Huh.
Yeah.
I would think that only one shop doing it would be something that they don't want. Where's the diversity?
Well, Wizards wanted uniformity. They wanted all the Grand Prix run by the same place, so that because they would get complaints because one person would charge this much for a Grand Prix versus one store would charge this,
Ah, I
and
see.
the experiences were different, but based on who ran the event.
Okay, so it was a matter of all the different prices and things.
Yeah. That's basically what it was. They just wanted uniformity and they wanted one place to run them all. And Channel Fireball, based out of California, won the bid.
Okay.
So they run all the big Grand Prix events, which are the largest publicly available tournaments for Magic. I mean, there's obviously the Pro Tour, but you have to qualify for that.
Yeah.
But the Grand Prix would be like the old versus 10Ks, if we have some versus system listeners out there, or Shonen Jumps for Yu-Gi-Oh. Are those still a thing?
Uh, I don't know. I only play classic Yu-Gi-Oh.
Ah, okay.
For instance, my I still run around with Lord of Dragons and three blue eyes so that every once in a while I can bring out Ultimate Dragon and of course there's this other one that's another one of my fusion monsters, which is somewhat new but old nonetheless. The King Dragon, which is a fusion between Lord of Dragons and Dragon Ragnarok.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically a Lord of Dragons that protects itself with its own effect,
Ah,
and you could basically summon a dragon every turn.
okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
doesn't matter the cost, I don't think. Though I can't really see it now because it's rather late at night, and the text is you know, kind of hard on my eyes to notice what the hell it's saying.
Right.
Have you seen the newest Yu-Gi-Oh movie, the one that came out last year?
Is that the one where? they have Yu-Gi-Oh, and they have the first three protagonists travel through time, and it's basically just this one duel.
Nope, it's after that one.
Okay, then no, I've not seen the.
Okay, well, I did, and they redesigned some of the characters. Mokuba looks different from the Mokuba that I remember anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, all right, I'll let that slide. Everyone else looks a bit more updated. Uh, I guess you know it was basically the story of them graduating from school, whatever school they went to. I don't know if it was high school or junior high or whatever. I'm not sure. Judging from Yuki's height, it could be both.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to spoil too much. The only thing I thought that was odd is that when they brought back a certain character, he didn't talk. So there's that, if you ever see it. I think it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, it's the one that came out in 2017. It's that one.
Okay.
You'll know what I'm talking about when you come to the part where okay, it's the character and now well, why isn't he talking? Shouldn't he say something right now? You know, I don't know what happened, but that kind of stood out to me.
Okay.
All right, so WrestleMania. Oh boy, what a
Mm-hmm.
clusterfuck.
It seems like from what I've heard, it's rather long. Um,
Rather long. Yeah. If you count the before 7 hours.
yeah.
I mean, geez, man, what the hell were they thinking? Uh,
I especially it's not like you had a match, and a bunch of matches didn't have really the time to develop. I mean, it's something like an AJ Nakamura match. I mean, it's just everything like the matches that needed time didn't have time,
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
but the crowd was so just exhausted that by the time that they got to ending the show with Reigns and Lesnar was not the greatest idea in the world
Hmm.
because the crowd just didn't give a flip.
Yep. Yeah. Two characters or personas that they could care less about.
Yeah, and it's definitely both now because people are sick of Lesnar being there every few weeks, and then they're obviously sick of Roman Reigns. So, or
Yeah.
Roman Reigns in his current incarnation.
Yeah. I think if Samoa Joe, you know, if for some reason they would say, okay, we're gonna give the title to Samoa Joe, probably they can do something with that. But I don't know.
Well, he's on. Well, I don't know how you've set up this. Where you want to set up this discussion, but with Joe being on SmackDown now,
Yeah.
I I really don't see how they would do the Intercontinental title, let alone the Universal title,
Hmm.
unless they forced AJ to move from SmackDown. And it's like no, please no. I love SmackDown the way it is now after the shakeup. I had to trade Bobby Roode for Samoa Joe. Okay, fine. Like literally the only people on Raw I would even give a flip about left are Rollins, Balor, and Sasha and Bailey. I mean,
Uh-huh.
other than that, I couldn't care less about anything on Raw.
All right.
Oh, Owens and Zayn. Owens and Zayn. Sorry. So
Okay,
yeah, so I
okay.
would lose
All right.
Owens. Yeah, so it's like those six are the only things I would care about Raw, and Raw is going to still be based around Roman and Brock for the foreseeable future. So it's just kind of
Uh-huh.
like, I'll just stay over here with SmackDown. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I think they said something about a 50-man battle royal.
Yeah, that thing. That is really interesting. The greatest Royal Rumble or the greatest house show ever that some rich Saudi oil prince paid us for.
I know, right? Okay, if let's say they bring the Great Khali, the Big Show, uh let me see who else. Mark Henry, um who else is a big man who could be a fan favorite for something like that?
I think you've listed all of the, you know, I mean, obviously you have, Corbin and Cass, but they're heels. I mean, those
Yeah,
are
yeah.
the only other 7-footers. Taker is in a separate match, so he wouldn't be
Yep. Oh,
in the
and
Rumble.
just for shits and giggles, Cactus Jack, if he's still.
Uh, I don't know if Foley can do bumps or anything.
uh, even if it was like, even if it was like, he somehow gets thrown out underneath and chills outside for a bit.
I
Uh,
I really find it interesting because like the whole thing with the battle royal, the Andre the Giant Mania, that is hypothetically supposed to push someone on the mid card, even though it kind of never happened. I mean,
uh-huh.
well, they attempted it with Cesaro,
Yep.
and they attempted it with Cesaro. They really didn't do anything with it with Big Show.
Yeah.
They attempted it with Corbin, and then last year with Mojo, that was just basically an excuse to get Gronk into WrestleMania. But they did absolutely nothing with Mojo after that. So you had the men's one in, but now it's like, okay, so who are you pushing? The one that won, you're gonna be, Matt Hardy, which you've immediately thrown him into a team with Bray Wyatt, and they seem poised to win the Raw tag titles now with the bar going to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Are you going to push them, or are you pushing whoever comes out on top of this event in Saudi Arabia?
Well, either way, it should be pretty interesting. But we'll talk about that next time. So, before we go, well, how about you give us a website that you would like to give props to before we get going?
Oh golly. Here we go. The BioWare and Bethesda stores.
Okay.
Um, Basically, any gaming site that has their store run by ThinkGeek is abandoning ship with ThinkGeek. So they're all having clearance sales of varying amounts. The BioWare one in particular is 75% off everything fire sale.
Nice.
Now the thing is, for men outside of hoodies, there's not many clothing options available other than hoodies and hats and socks.
Okay.
Most of the other clothing is either women's, or if it is a men's one, it's only like triple XL and stuff.
All right.
You know,
And that
anything.
note, we got to bring it into this cast because we're out of time.